Japanese minimalism. More time, peace, and joy. What if we told you that owning less could actually give you more time, more peace, and way more happiness? Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what Japanese minimalism did for millions of people worldwide. And today, we're diving deep into this life-changing philosophy. Hey everyone! Have you ever walked into your room and felt instantly stressed just looking at all your stuff? Or spent your weekend cleaning instead of doing things you actually love? Well, you're not alone, and there's actually an ancient Japanese solution that's been quietly transforming lives around the globe. Japanese minimalism isn't just about having less stuff, it's a whole mindset that focuses on what truly matters in life. Unlike the Western idea of minimalism that often feels cold and empty, Japanese minimalism is warm, thoughtful, and deeply rooted in finding joy through simplicity. Think of it as decluttering not just your space, but your mind and your entire way of living. The beautiful thing about this approach is that it doesn't ask you to live like a monk or give up everything you love. Instead, it gently guides you toward keeping only the things that spark genuine happiness and serve a real purpose in your life. And trust us, once you experience the freedom that comes with this lifestyle, there's no going back. What makes Japanese minimalism different? So, what exactly sets Japanese minimalism apart from other approaches we've heard about? Well, it's rooted in several beautiful Japanese concepts that have been practiced for centuries, long before minimalism became a trending hashtag on social media. First, there's something called which is all about appreciating empty space and silence. In Japanese culture, the space between things is just as important as the things themselves. This means that when you walk into a room, the empty areas aren't seen as something that needs to be filled, but rather as breathing room for your soul. Then we have Wabi-Sabi, which teaches us to find beauty in imperfection and simplicity. This concept helps us stop chasing the perfect Instagram-worthy home and instead embrace the natural, authentic beauty of our lived-in spaces. A slightly worn wooden table isn't something to replace, it's something to appreciate for its character and history. There's also mono no aware, which translates roughly to the gentle sadness of things passing away. This philosophy helps us understand that everything is temporary, so we shouldn't get too attached to material possessions. Instead, we learn to appreciate what we have right now without the constant need to acquire more. What's really special about Japanese minimalism is that it's not about punishment or deprivation. Western minimalism sometimes feels like you're forcing yourself to live with less, but the Japanese approach is about naturally gravitating toward what brings you genuine contentment and letting go of everything else with gratitude. The time freedom we never expected. Here's where things get really interesting, and this might be the biggest surprise of all. When we started applying Japanese minimalism principles, the amount of time we suddenly had was almost shocking. Think about it. How much time do you spend looking for things, cleaning around things, organizing things, or just feeling overwhelmed by things? Studies show that the average person spends about 12 minutes every day just looking for misplaced items. That might not sound like much, but it adds up to over 70 hours per year, almost 2 full work weeks. And that's just the searching time, not counting all the mental energy wasted on feeling frustrated or stressed. But when you only keep items that have a designated place and a clear purpose, everything becomes so much easier to find. We started noticing that our morning routines became smoother because we knew exactly where everything was. Getting dressed took less time because we only kept clothes that we genuinely loved and that worked well together. The cleaning time reduction was incredible too. With fewer surfaces covered in random objects, dusting and vacuuming became quick, almost meditative tasks instead of overwhelming weekend projects. We found ourselves with entire Saturday afternoons free, time that used to disappear into organizing and reorganizing our belongings. Even decision-making became faster and less draining. When you have fewer options but higher quality ones, choosing what to wear, what to eat, or how to spend your evening becomes effortless. This might seem small, but decision fatigue is real, and reducing these tiny daily choices freed up mental energy for more important decisions in our lives.
finding peace in unexpected places. This piece isn't just about having a tidy space, it goes a lot deeper than that. There's something almost magical that happens when you stop feeling like you're constantly battling against your environment and instead feel supported by it. One of the first things we noticed was how much easier it became to focus. When your surroundings are calm and intentional, your mind naturally follows. Research from UCLA found that people living in cluttered homes had higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, throughout the day. But when we simplified our spaces using Japanese principles, we could actually feel our shoulders relax when we walked through the door. The financial piece was unexpected but so welcome. When you stop buying things impulsively and instead carefully consider each purchase, your relationship with money completely shifts. We found ourselves asking questions like, will this item serve a purpose? And does this align with the life we want to live? Instead of just, do I want this right now? This mindful approach to spending meant we had more money for experiences and things that truly matter to us. There's also this wonderful sense of environmental harmony that develops. In Japanese minimalism, everything in your space should feel intentional and connected. Colors flow together naturally, textures complement each other, and each item seems to belong exactly where it is. This creates a sense of visual and emotional calm that's hard to describe, but impossible to ignore once you experience it. Sleep became deeper and more restful too. Without the visual chaos of clutter, our bedrooms transformed into true sanctuaries. The Japanese concept of creating spaces that support rest and renewal made bedtime feel like a gentle transition, rather than just falling into bed exhausted from dealing with our stuff all day. Joy through thoughtful living. This is probably the most beautiful aspect of Japanese minimalism, the way it helps you rediscover joy in simple, everyday moments. When you're not constantly distracted by managing your possessions, you start noticing and appreciating things you might have missed before. Morning coffee tastes better when you're sipping it from a cup you genuinely love rather than just whatever was clean. Reading becomes more enjoyable when you're sitting in a space that feels peaceful rather than chaotic. Even conversations with family and friends feel richer when you're not mentally cataloging all the things you need to organize or clean. The Japanese have this concept called ikigai, your reason for being or your life's purpose. When you remove the distractions of excess possessions and constant acquisition, it becomes easier to connect with what truly brings meaning to your life. We found ourselves spending more time on hobbies we'd forgotten we loved, having deeper conversations, and pursuing goals that had been buried under the daily stress of managing our stuff. There's also incredible joy in the quality over quantity mindset. Instead of having 10 okay shirts, you might have 3 that you absolutely love and that make you feel confident every time you wear them. Instead of a closet full of books you might read someday, you keep the ones that have genuinely impacted your life and are worth revisiting. This extends to experiences too. Rather than trying to do everything and see everything, Japanese minimalism encourages you to fully immerse yourself in fewer activities. A single mindful walk in nature becomes more satisfying than rushing through multiple errands. One meaningful conversation feels more fulfilling than scrolling through hundreds of social media updates.
Simple steps to get started. The beauty of Japanese minimalism is that you don't need to transform your entire life overnight. In fact, the Japanese approach emphasizes gradual, thoughtful changes that feel sustainable rather than overwhelming. So let's talk about some gentle ways to begin this journey that won't leave you feeling stressed or deprived. Start with just one small area, maybe your bedside table or your desk. Look at each item and ask yourself if it serves a purpose or brings you genuine joy. This isn't about being harsh with yourself, but rather about being honest about what adds value to your daily life. You might discover that you've been holding on to things out of habit rather than love. Practice the Japanese art of gratitude before letting things go. Instead of just tossing items you don't need, take a moment to appreciate how they served you and then release them with kindness. This might sound silly, but it helps shift your mindset from feeling like you're losing something to feeling like you're making space for what matters more. Focus on creating one peaceful space in your home where you can experience the calm that comes with intentional living. This could be a reading corner, your bedroom, or even just a section of your living room.
When you have one area that feels serene and purposeful, you'll naturally want to extend that feeling to other parts of your space. Remember that Japanese minimalism is about progress, not perfection. Some days, you might feel motivated to tackle bigger projects, and other days, you might just move one item to a place where it feels more intentional. Both approaches are valuable and help you build a sustainable relationship with this lifestyle. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to imagine what your life could look like with more time, more peace, and more joy. Picture waking up in a space that feels calm and supportive, spending your free time on activities that truly fulfill you, and going to bed each night feeling content rather than overwhelmed. Japanese minimalism offers us a path to this kind of life, not through restriction or deprivation, but through thoughtful choices about what we invite into our world. It's about creating space for what matters most by gently releasing what doesn't serve us anymore. The journey might feel different for everyone, and that's perfectly okay. Your version of Japanese minimalism might look nothing like someone else's, and it shouldn't. The goal isn't to achieve some perfect minimal aesthetic, but rather to create a life that feels aligned with your values and supports your well-being. So we encourage you to start small, be patient with yourself, and remember that every step toward more intentional living is worth celebrating. What would you like to try first? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if this video helped you think about your space and your life in a new way. We'll see you in the next one.